My Sweet Audrina, Part 3, Last Rites. On what I was to find out later was a clear summer day, it came to me as in a dream that my death was at hand. The purposeful way Vera strode into my room that morning told me so much. She came to my bed and stared down into my face. I kept my eyes almost closed, knowing my lashes would give me the appearance of being asleep. Her cold hand touched my forehead to feel its warmth. Cool, but not cool enough. Are you recovering, Audrina? Your skin looks better today. Why, you almost look half alive. I do believe you've put on some weight, though I'm sure Arden wouldn't notice that. He seldom sees anything but your face, even when he sneaks in here to move your arms and legs. Papa does that too, and his eyes are always so full of tears he can't see anything either. The two of them are so burdened down with guilt, it's a wonder they can still get up in the mornings and go to work. She glanced at Sylvia, who'd taken to sleeping on the floor in my bed. Get away from there, idiot. She made some movement that I took to be a kick. Sylvia squealed in pain and jumped up and staggered over to her favorite dim corner. There she crouched down to keep a suspicious eye on Vera. Last back time, sang out Vera. Wouldn't want the coroner to think I neglected you. Gonna wash that man right out of your hair, she sang gaily. Gonna paint that face and make you look pretty, but not so pretty he'll cry too long. Like a musical farce, she was making my death, and she came toward me bearing a basin of warm water and several towels. Quickly she disconnected the IV and eased me around so my head dangled off the side of the bed into the basin of water. She used several pitchers of warm water, to rinse off the lather. Next I was moved back onto the bed, bathed, and over my head she tugged one of my prettiest nightgowns. She seemed to notice some difference in the flexibility of my body. She looked disturbed, hesitated, then shook her head and began brushing and rearranging my dried hair. Several times she used her thumb and forefinger to spread my lids and peer into my eyes. Did I see you move? Audrina, I could swear I saw you move. You winced, too, when I pulled your hair. Are you only pretending to still be in your coma? Well, I don't give a damn. Keep the game up and pretend long enough, and in your grave you'll find yourself. Already you've pretended too long, Audrina. You're so weak now you can't do anything to help yourself. Too weak to walk, too weak to talk, and Papa and Arden have gone away on a day-long conference in Richmond. They won't be home until late. Soon I'll be rushing off to the beauty parlor in Arden's car, and our new maid named Nola will be instructed to look out for you. Ever since I had quickened, become sharper. My survival instincts came alive as I quivered with apprehension, wondering how she planned to kill me and what I could do to save myself. Seconds later, Vera used my dressing room to apply my makeup to her face. I caught the whiff of my own French perfume, smelled my own dusting powder. Then I heard her fumbling around in my closet, finding what she wanted. She came into view wearing my best summer suit. It's August, Audrina. August in Paris. What a honeymoon that's going to be. Before this month is over, Arden Lowe will belong to me. And he's got enough evidence on Papa to have him locked away in jail. He doesn't want to use it, for dear Papa has reformed and no longer cheats and embezzles. Your noble Arden made him quit. I don't really want Papa in jail anyway. I want him where I can put my hands on him and make him pay and pay and pay and pay. And when I have all his money, into an old folks' home goes dear Papa. And dear little Sylvia will get her just rewards too. I think it's very romantic for you to die in the summer. On the grave we can lay all the roses you love. Remember that first box of Valentine candy Arden sent you and I ate every piece? I hated you for attracting him even then, when I was more his age. You've been unconscious 3 months. Do you know that? I pray you can hear. According to your husband, you and he finally found each other just before you fall down the stairs. Really, Audrina, you do know all the right ways to mess up your life. Too many people fall in this house. Someone should have Sylvia locked up before somebody else takes the tumble. You shielded a killer, Audrina. But you won't have to worry about anything after today. I'm driving to the village, making a big show of myself. While I'm gone, the job will be done. I'll come home to find you dead. She laughed and then turned to look hard at Sylvia. The clickety-clack of her high heels on the floor sounded ominous as she went out the door. I was now alone, except for Sylvia. I tried to speak, to call. I thought I made some gurgling, throaty noise. Nothing coherent came out. Sylvia, I will. Come to me. Do something to help me. Don't let me be here when Vera comes back. Please, Sylvia, please. In her corner, Sylvia played with several prisms, using them to send separate light rays across. Looking up every once in a while, she vacantly stared at me. I had to find my voice. Desperate need gave me the strength to speak. Sylvia, help me. It came out as a little more than a moan, but Sylvia heard and understood. Sluggishly, she rose to her feet. Excruciatingly slowly, she wandered not to my bed, but to the dressing table, which was not reflected in the mirror of the dresser, but I could hear her fiddling around with pretty jars. "Sylvia," I moaned, "help me. Take me away. Hide me. Please, please, Sylvia, help Audrina." Something had her attention. Now I could see her reflection in the dresser mirror. She was looking my way, startled, almost scared appearing. Inch by a slow inch, she ambled toward my bed. In her hand, she carried my silver hand mirror. I found my voice again. "Billy's cart, Sylvia. The little red cart. Find that cart. Put me on it." Slowly, slowly, she came to gaze with unfocused eyes. "Please, Sylvia, help me," I whispered. The door opened. My heart almost stopped beating. Vera was back so quickly. What had gone wrong? Then I saw her reason for coming back. She had a plastic bag full of cookies. The very kind of cookies that Sylvia had such a passion for. "Look, Sylvia. Pretty Sylvia hasn't had a treat like this in years, has she? Me and Audrina won't let you eat cookies, but nice Vera will. Come, pretty Sylvia, eat your cookies, like a good girl, and I'll bring you more tomorrow. See where your half-sister put your cookies? Under the bed." What was she up to? In another few moments, Vera was on her feet, picking up her purse, which was really my purse, and softly chuckling to herself as she headed once more for the door. "Goodbye, Audrina, goodbye. When you get to heaven, say hello to your mother for me. If my mother is there, ignore her. Dying won't hurt much. Your food supply will stop, that's all. The machine function for your kidneys will shut off. It won't hurt. Maybe when the respirator stops, she'll just stop breathing. It's hard to tell, but you can't last long. All that grieving for Billy helped run down your health long before your fall. And did you know I contributed a little drug to your tea? Just a little to keep you in a constant apathetic state." Bang! She slammed the door. No sooner had she closed the door than Sylvia was on her knees and under the bed. When next I saw her, she was munching on a handful of cookies, and in her free hand was a single plug that connected on my machines to the outlet. Good God! Vera must have fastened the cookies to the plug with the picture wire I saw dangling from Sylvia's hand. Sylvia plucked the wire from the cookies, threw it down, and stuffed her mouth again. I felt strange, really strange. Sylvia was growing fuzzier and fuzzier. I was dying. "Do you want me to die, Sylvia?" Desperate now, I concentrated every last bit of willpower I had on controlling her. Determined to live, I fought the drowsiness that tried to take me down. As if consolidating her strength, trying to focus her eyes and keep them that way, my younger sister touched a tear that slipped from my right eye. "Audrina." She loved me. The bread cast upon the waters of Sylvia. Just a second, we're going to pause. Thank you. Oh, Sylvia, quickly. Vera could come back sooner than I think, and Sylvia was so slow. Excruciating slow. It seemed like hours passed before Sylvia came back with Billy's little red cart that had splintered badly when it clattered down the front stairs. "Bad, Vera. Bad, Vera," Sylvia kept saying. Panting and gasping, I managed to make a small sound that sounded like yes, and then I willed Sylvia to try to pick me up. Certainly I couldn't weigh much, but her strength was so minimal that she couldn't manage to do more than tug and pull on one arm and a leg. She succeeded in pulling me off the bed so that I landed on the thick piling of the soft carpet. The jolt sent rippling waves of shock throughout my body, ripples that reached every nerve ending. "Audrina. Yes, Audrina wants you to take her away, down the hall to a safe place." I was difficult for her to manage. When she had my buttocks on the cart, my head and upper body were off. My legs dragged. Sylvia studied me with a puzzled look. Then she leaned to shove my knees up, and since that seemed to work, she gave a grunt of pride and with struggling efforts pushed me into an upright position. But when she let go, I fell sideways. Again, she shoved me back on. I slumped over on my pulled-up knees and tried to latch my fingers together to keep my legs in position. My head lolled heavily and jerkily when I wanted to lift it. "Sylvia, Audrina," she happily murmured as she got down on her hands and knees and began to shove. Fortunately, she'd left the door open when she came with the cart, talking all the time in her mumbling way about me being her baby now. She mentioned again that Vera was bad. The grandfather clocks in the lower hall began to chime in the rhythmic voices. The clocks on the mantels joined in, and the clocks on the tables, dressers, and desks told the hour of 3. Someone had finally scrutinized all the clocks. The thick carpeting down the halls meant to soundproof and give privacy made it very difficult for Sylvia to shove me along. The little wheels dug deeply into the pile and resisted. No wonder Billy had asked Papa to have the carpet taken up when she used quarters, but now it was back to hinder my escape. Where could Sylvia put me? Tediously, Sylvia shoved, panted, and heaving and talking gibberish. Audrina, sweet Audrina. Weakly, I turned my head. I moved. I managed to look over my shoulder to see Sylvia's rapid expression. You said my name just right, I said. Audrina. She beamed at me and wanted to stop and play and talk. Hide me, I began to whisper before I half fainted. Everything began to move in on me then. The walls came closer, then receded. Bric-a-brac on the hall tables moved. Figurines loomed up. The swirling patterns on the rug snaked around me, trying to choke me as I fought off the blackness that wanted to claim me again. I had to stay awake and in control, or I would fall off the cart. Hours and hours of Sylvia crawling behind and pushing. Where was she taking me? Suddenly the front stairs were just ahead. No, I wanted to yell, but I was mute with terror. Sylvia was going to shove me down the stairs. Audrina, she said. Sweet Audrina. Gently and slowing, the cart curved away from the stairs and headed toward the western wing. In and out of consciousness, I pivoted, feeling pain stabbing from time to time. I began to silently pray. Downstairs, I heard the front door slam. Speeding up just a fraction, Sylvia made the turn into the playroom. No, 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 was all I could think as Sylvia shoved me into the room where all my nightmares had begun. The high bed loomed ahead. Straight under it, Sylvia pushed me as I released my hold on my pulled-up knees and fell backward to avoid being knocked out. And just in the nick of time, too. The old-fashioned coil springs coated with years of layered dust met my stare. Sylvia peeked under the dust ruffle, then let it drop. Sylvia's slow steps faded away. I was alone under the bed with the dust, and a huge spider was spinning a dainty web from one coil to another. It had eyes of black, dainty web from one coil to another. Seeming aware of my presence, it paused in its chore, looked me over, and then went on to complete its half-finished design.